What's going on, FA Nation? Justin Fensterman back with you with another fantasy football stock watch report on fantasyalarm.com, talking about which players are trending up and down when it comes to the interest of fantasy football players from the production standpoint especially. We saw more injuries occur to start week 4, including DJ Chark breaking his ankle. Same game, Joe Mixon injures his ankle. David Montgomery hurt his knee after rushing in 2 touchdowns. We saw a QB swap in San Francisco when Trey Lance started the second half after Jimmy Garoppolo hurt his calf. And with that, we continue moving forward. Let's talk about which players are on the rise and are falling when it comes to our teams. First on the rise, Sam Darnold. Maybe a change of scenery is just what Darnold needed, because through 4 weeks he's been a top 10 fantasy football producer at QB, and he leads the league in rushing touchdowns with 5. His next 4 matchups are against 1-win teams. Darnold is completing nearly 68% of his passes, and he's tied for 10th in the NFL with 99 completed passes. He's thrown for over 300 yards in 3 straight games, and he's been able to be productive despite getting sacked 11 times this year. He doesn't have a strong offensive line, but he does have strong weapons in Christian McCaffrey when healthy, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson, who he targeted 11 times in week 4 after targeting Anderson 11 times total in the Panthers' 3 previous games. Up next on the rise, Cordarrelle Patterson. If you play on Yahoo and have Patterson on your team, you can start him in either the running back or wide receiver roster slot. Remember, the Falcons still have Mike Davis running the ball, and Patterson hasn't grabbed more than 7 carries per game through 4. But he's been targeted at least 6 times in the Falcons' passing game in each of the last 3 weeks. Patterson has caught 4 touchdown passes, 3 in week 4 alone. He has more receptions and receiving yards than Kyle Pitts. Patterson isn't on the field the most, as he played just 30% of the Falcons' snaps on Sunday and played above 40% of them just once this season. It's something to keep in mind, as right now brings a good sell high opportunity for Patterson investors. Also on the rise, Deebo Samuel. Samuel has been on fire to start the year and has secured the most receiving yards in the NFL with 490 through 4 weeks. He has been targeted at least 10 times in 3 of 4 games this year, and he's caught 3 touchdown passes. The 49ers quarterbacks haven't been looking Brandon Ayuk's way for the most part, and Samuel has been targeted 13 more times than George Kittle. Kittle hasn't registered a touchdown yet. Samuel has caught 28 passes, and only 4 wide receivers have caught more passes than him. Let's talk about players who are falling when it comes to the interest and production potential. Miles Sanders. Sanders has hardly been existent for the last 2 weeks, catching just 6 passes total and being given just 9 total carries. The Chiefs and Cowboys are tough offenses to deal with, and the Eagles needed to throw more in those games. But even against both teams, Jalen Hurts ran the ball more than Sanders. The Eagles are on the lower end of point scorers in the NFC. Sanders has yet to play 70% of the Eagles' offensive snaps in a game, and up next for them is Carolina, who has allowed 95 rushing yards per game. After that matchup, they play the toughest rush defense in the league in Tampa Bay, and Sanders will barely be utilized much again in that game unless they throw more to him. We're also starting to see Kenneth Gainwell on the field more. Not good for Sanders. Also falling, Tyson Williams. While Williams investors wanted to believe that he would be the prioritized runner in Baltimore, we were told that the Ravens were going to use multiple running backs. And since rushing for 77 yards against the Chiefs in week 2, Williams was given just 5 carries in week 3, and then he didn't even suit up against the Broncos in week 4. Latavius Murray, Devonta Freeman, and Le'Veon Bell were all active and given carries against a very tough Broncos rush defense. And after seeing Murray get more carries than Williams against the Lions in the previous week, he was then given 18 against the Broncos, showing he is currently the leader of the Ravens' flock of running backs. For a player rushing for 6.1 yards per carry, Williams being inactive against a contender of a rush defense shows that there are other parts of his game that need to be refined, and they'll rely on their veterans over him as long as they hold up. Final faller, Rondale Moore. Moore was the prize on the waiver wire in 12-team leagues after he toasted the Vikings for 7 receptions for 114 yards and a touchdown in week 2. He was targeted 8 times in that game. Since then, he's been targeted just 5 times. Christian Kirk and A.J. Green have been playing way more snaps than Moore. Kirk was on the field for 23 more offensive snaps than Moore against the Rams. At this point, based off these snap percentages, it's very hard starting him with confidence as he's clearly behind 3 other receivers, and the Cardinals utilize many weapons on offense, and it will be hard for Moore to get more love in the offense consistently unless injuries occur. That is the latest Stock Watch FA Nation. Keep your foot on the pedal. Even if you're undefeated, do not let go. All it takes is one injury and you're down a lot of depth. Stick on the waiver wire and make sure you're hanging with all of us in the family on fantasyalarm.com. Good luck and go get 'em.